Show that this equation has exactly one real root. So in other words, if you look at the sine graph, and the sine graph continues in this direction, and you look at this graph, which is a line shifted down by 1, and then it's got a slope of 2, so it looks approximately like this. So by looking at the graph, it looks like there's only one solution, but now actually prove it. And for that, we're going to use Rolle's theorem. The first thing to do is set this thing equal to 0. So I can just have 2x minus 1 and then subtract sine of x, and then it would be equal to 0. And prove that that only happens one time. Well, the next thing I'll do is I'll create a function and I'll call that the function. So f of x equals 2x minus 1 minus sine of x. And suppose that we have this whole new function right here, and suppose that it has 2 real roots. So whatever its graph looks like, there would be one time when it equals 0. Let's say that's at the number a. There would be another time when it equals 0. That would be the number b. And so the function does whatever, but it does cross the x-axis at a and also at b. So the mean value theorem says that there's going to be a place where the derivative is equal to the slope of the secant line. Well, because f of b is equal to 0 and f of a is equal to 0, this is going to be 0 minus 0. And then 0 divided by b minus a, that equals 0. So there has to be some place where the derivative equals 0. So now actually take the derivative and see if that's possible. So the derivative is going to be 2. So that's the derivative of 2x. Derivative of negative 1 is 0. The derivative of negative sine is negative cosine. And then, is it possible that that could equal 0? Well, once you set it equal to 0, you can add cosine to both sides. And then it says, hey, did you know that cosine can equal 2? And that is impossible because the very biggest that cosine gets is 1. So it can never equal 2. Impossible. Which means that when I said that there's going to be 2 answers, that is impossible. So only one answer is possible.